Good afternoon.
Let's start with the team news. Who's available for Thursday night?
Team news, like I said, after the game against Arsenal, and Rodrigo Bentancur trained with us, and yeah, he's available. He could be available for the game against City.
You'll be aware that there's quite a lot of frustration, anger from the fans at the moment towards the club. For the first time I can remember, there's now a little bit of criticism on you as well, that this side is underperforming. What do you think of that criticism, and do you think the team has regressed since the end of last season?
But what I can tell is only one thing, that we are working really hard and every day for this club. Then if there is criticism, and we have to accept, it's difficult to understand why the criticism, because I think that we are doing what we have to do in our possibility, but we have to accept. But my answer is always the same. I put everything, and the players do the same for this club, and for the fans. That I think much more than this is very, very difficult to do for me.
It's another game, obviously, on Thursday night against one of the so-called Big Six. And Spurs' record this season against those teams is really poor. Why is that? Why do they struggle against these big teams? Is it a mentality issue?
But here, and you speak always about the mentality, and yeah. But I think that you don't consider other aspects. But I don't want to stay every press conference to explain the situation. Yeah, and we'll try to improve. But here, and you reduce all about the mentality. Yeah. If it's only about the mentality, I think we can solve the situation, because the mentality of this team is really strong. Believe me. But if we reduce only about the mentality, and is a poor, like your consideration, in my opinion.
I'm not saying it is necessarily the mentality. I'm asking you, what is the issue? Why do Spurs perform poorly against the big teams?
What I can say that maybe usually when you lose the game, and it means that the opponent showed to be stronger than you. Usually, then it can happen. A game like the game against Arsenal, that their goalkeeper was the best player on the pitch, and we lost. But in my opinion, the performance was good. And on the game against Crystal Palace, we won the game, and the performance was good. And but when there is a loss, and you can talk, it's difficult to give. I don't like to give to justify, because you lost the game. And then you have to stay in silence and to try to do your best. But for sure, we are doing our best. Then we have to continue to work. We have to try to recover the best form of the players, and to continue. But if someone is not happy, I can tell you that we are doing the maximum. We are doing our best, not 100%, but 200%.
Thanks, Jamie. Paul?
Antonio, when you look back and review, say, the last 12, 13 games, a lot of them were very tight. You won, and, on a having comeback, stuff like that. When you look at that run, how happy are you with that sort of run of performances?
But if I'm happy or I'm unhappy, and I will try, I repeat, in every game to do our best. For sure, we had periods and that we struggle, but you know very well. I always said the same things. I don't want to repeat. I was very clear in the past, and I don't want to repeat in every press conference the same concept. Yeah, I was clear, and you try to make me the same question and to have the same answer, and it seems that every time. And, we have to try to continue to work in this way. We are working very hard, and if the result are this, and but I can tell you that we are working very hard, and this is what we can do in this moment.
What was the key to winning at Man City a year ago, and is it the same approach this time?
I remember the game, and to win against Manchester City, you have to try to don't make mistakes, because you know for sure, and when you are going to play against Manchester City, the ball possession will be 70-75 for them, and you have a 25-30% of the ball in possession, and in this period you have to be very good to move the ball well, to create a chance to score. But and you are playing against I think the best team in the world in this moment, and it will be very difficult. Last season we were good, we showed a great resilience. Also in this type of game, you need also a bit of lucky to try to have a good result against this type of team.
Ali?
We know you've got a very fit team, but you work hard on the fitness levels. In matches, we seem to see them the first 10 minutes pressing very high up the pitch. And for some reason, that intensity seems to drop. And I think I saw you on the touchline Sunday in the second half, pushing players up the pitch, telling them to get up there. Why do you think that intensity just seems to switch off during parts of the game?
Yeah, but the intensity of the game, it depends also about the opponent. Because in the first half we started to press high, but and sometimes you find opponent that they are good, and we work and to overcome the pressure. But you have to know very well that when you press high and you leave a lot of space behind your back, and if you have a player like Saka, Martinelli, or Mahrez, or Foden, Grealish, Holland, and then the risk to concede a goal are very, very high. And then you have also to consider the characteristic of your players, of your defenders. If we can stay very high and to defend high with 50 meters behind of us, or is better for the characteristic of the player to stay a bit lower, to cover more space, and don't be stupid to be so open and to give the opportunity your opponent to kill you.
I was going to ask you that. Obviously, you've got Richarlison back now as one of your options. How important is he for someone like Sonny in terms of, obviously, we've seen maybe confidence-wise a little bit low. Having someone like Richarlison as competition, does that help him? Does that push a player like that on?
Yeah, but also about this topic. And before this season, you said me maybe, and Richarlison is pushing Son, and Son is not performing well. If I don't remember bad, you said me this. Now you are telling me exactly the opposite. That I want to be. To stay here to answer every question, but sometimes also I have a question totally the opposite question that you made me sometimes ago, and that maybe you said that maybe Sonny was struggle the pressure to have a player like Richarlison behind. I repeat, and there are different seasons. And the players are humans, and is a person, and for sure, if we talk about Sonny, and last season he scored 25 goals. In this season, he's not scoring so much, and for us, is not a good news this, because we count about his goal. Then, but we are talking about not robot, but we are talking about the person, human. And then I'm the first to hope that Sonny start to score, and with the pressure, without the pressure of another players like Richarlison behind. But this is football. This is football, and we have to try to face, especially the players, but also the coach, with different situation, positive or negative situation. The most important thing, what I see during the training session, during the game, that Sonny try to do his best. Sometimes the best, it means that you go to score or to make assist. Sometimes, it means that you are not so lucky to score or to make assist.
Okay, James, we'll finish with you, please.
Sonia, you said you don't want to repeat yourself about the bigger concept of the club and the strategy of the club. Would it help you if the ownership, if the chairman spoke more publicly about the club strategy rather than us asking you every week?
In England, I think there is a bad habit that there is only the coach to speak and to explain. I have never seen the medical department to come here to explain why this player is having a difficulty to recover. Is the same also, I never seen the club or sporting director to come here and to explain the strategy, the vision of the club. Is in England, because in Italy, for example, in Italy, every game before the game, there is a person of the club that go with the media and then has to answer many questions. I think that for us could be really better, because otherwise, we put every time our face. There is only one face to explain other situation that I think maybe is better also the club to come here to explain. I think that is good, but this is a habit, and I respect this habit. In Italy, it's different. In Italy, you can see the person of the club before the game or during the week that speak and explain many situations, because otherwise it means that if you speak only the coach, sometimes there are the misunderstanding, and instead I think that could be good to have the club to be present in the media and to speak at least not every week, but at least every 15 days, once a month. In this way, I think could be also more simple for you to understand the situation, and not only one phase and always the same phase, because believe me, it's difficult. It's difficult because everything you try to tell, it seems that could be a criticism, or could be something of wrong, something of negative. And this is not the truth. This is not the truth.
Is it something that you've asked the club to do, like talk to anyone like Daniel?
But I have not to ask anything. I think that this type of situation is good for every club. Don't go into the media and to yeah. But in this situation, the risk that to speak always the coach, to explain also situation that the coach sometimes has to stay in silent and to accept.